Alright, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to a 1v1 game in between DauT and Slam, the two game relation teammates. On Boulder Bay, we will have DauT down south as Mongols in blue, and to the north of the map, it's going to be Slam as red. Slam is playing as the French, and DauT is playing, as I said, as the Mongols. So, here's the deal with this map. You have a lot of water in the middle. This reminds me a little bit to the Hidden Cup Bay map that we used to see in Hidden Cups in Age of Empires 2. So you should see some fighting for the water early on. Now, because of that, the French can be extremely powerful here, and I honestly have no idea how the Mongols will be able to beat the French on water. In fact, I would borderline say that the Mongol player shouldn't even try to win the water here, because that just seems quite pointless. You won't be able to do it against a French player. The only option for DauT to do that would be to maybe go for a fast castle build and try to get his own attack ships out, because in Feudal Age he won't have the chance to beat the Hawks coming from the French. Now, you could say that, hey, DauT could just go for land aggression, because Slam would be winning the war anyways, but that's not that easy on this map, because this map is relatively easily wallable. It's not a super short wall, but it's not a huge investment either. You see, if Slam was here, and then was from this wood line to the edge of the water, he's gonna be all good. And DauT will have limited chance of pushing him. Slam is gonna have an insane food eco, and will just snowball the game with the better economy. So this is gonna be a difficult task for DauT to handle, and I'm really curious what he has on his mind. So, for now he's sending some villagers to wood, but I don't see a dock coming from him. He's got his OVU up already. And it very much seems like we're not going to have a dock immediately for DauT. In fact, he's going for a stable. So he wants to go for Dark Age Horseman. He feels like he wants to pressure Slam before Slam is able to wall himself, and that's not a bad idea, to be honest. Behind this one, Slam already has a dock up, and he has two villagers on the shorefish as well. I kind of like that, because that's a very, very nice source of food for you. It also delays you depleting your sheep. And as I said, villagers gather pretty fast from shorefish, so you can send more than one villager here to the shorefish, because there's just so many of them. Now, the only problem here for Slam could be that these villagers are quite exposed, so DauT could pick them off with horsemen. And you see that DauT is using up his early stone to make two horsemen from the stable. He should be able to pop out two more after this, so you see he's gonna have just enough stone to initiate another two horsemen production in the queue. But it looks like we're not gonna see any more of that from DauT, and now he's going for a dock. Interesting. So probably what DauT has on his mind is that he could set this dock on fire, because Mongols would get 50 food and 50 gold for setting the buildings on fire, so that's one positive. And the other positive is that, you know, if the villagers here get killed or get forced back to the town center, and if the dock is on fire, Slam won't be able to make ships. So that's the idea for DauT. It's actually pretty clever. I haven't really thought about that. That he could just apply land pressure with the early horsemen and sort of prevent Slam from having a dock even in Feudal Age, because that's the idea right now. Now, DauT is coming in with the con, and it looks like he is mixing in two more horsemen. Slam will need to react to this one with spearman, but that's not something that he's necessarily prepared for, I would say. He's progressing towards Feudal Age at a nice steady pace, but he's gonna be caught off guard, I believe, by the incoming horsemen. He's just about to spot them right now, and you see he already has pulled back the villagers to the TC, so that was a smart move from him. But here is DauT, and I'm not gonna lie, the Mongols will love the situation of being able to just burn this building to the ground. They might actually even try to do the same thing on the mining camp, but this is the whole concept here for DauT. Slam invests a lot into the fishing ships, but he's just gonna lose the dock really fast. Now, what can Slam do in this situation? He can make a barracks, and he can try to clean this up. Alternatively, I can see an outpost being made around here as well, so you can just shoot the horseman using the outposts. Looks like Slam is going up with the School of Cavalry, which is the usual building to go up with for French when they're playing hybrid maps like this one. You can technically make an argument for the other landmark, but the fact that you have some map presence on land as well with the knights actually helps quite a bit. And you see that Slam is making a barracks here as well. Now, if he is going for the School of Cavalry and get some knights out, I don't think that he needs the barracks, because the knights will be able to beat the horsemen anyways, so you don't really need the spearmen early on. And those will start to struggle against the Mangudai in the future, so I kind of feel like this barracks is not really needed right now. Looks like DauT is about to set the dock on fire. Slam has gotten a pretty nice value for his fishing ships though. He has had 6 fishing ships for a while, so he has collected quite a decent amount of food. But eventually, DauT will be able to take down the dock, and here's where this gets interesting. Because the thing is that Slam, while he technically has the naval superiority when it comes to ships, he just won't be able to make any ships because he simply has no water control. Or so it seems, because Slam realizes what's going on, and he's going to try and sneak up a dock on the left side. I like it. That's a very, very sneaky dock, and the idea is that he just needs one Hawk to destroy DauT's fleet here. Looks like the dock is down, and Slam is still mixing in some spearmen. Maybe the reason why Slam started adding spearmen is because he was afraid that DauT could push this gold mine, and he wouldn't have the gold for the knights. In that case, I would understand the barracks addition, but it's still a little bit weird that you added a barracks when you're making knights as well. Looks like the dock goes up, the villager will likely fall here, but the key thing here for Slam is that he's able to finish that dock. Now, the problem on the other hand is that you see, a Hulk is pretty expensive, 300 wood, 240 gold, and as things stand, Slam can't afford it. So, if Slam was able to afford this, he would already have a Hulk out by now, and he would just take down these horsemen. But he can't afford it, so he's in the danger of potentially losing that dock. Here come the spearmen though. DauT has the con to try and pick them off, but that's not gonna be enough against knights. You see, DauT is just going to pop the maneuver arrow and will try to run away from this fight, which means Slam will be able to keep his dock up, and he will soon be able to get a Hawk out as well. Also, some knights are on the field. Meanwhile, we haven't talked about DauT, who is up to feudal age. He has went up with the silver tree. Now, considering that the neutral market is in this corner, technically if DauT has map control, he could start a trade boom, something that he loves to do with the Mongols. Looks like for now he's just going to retreat. Obviously he can't really fight knights and spearmen with just horsemen. I would expect him to start mixing some Mangudai at some point, but it doesn't seem like it's the case right now. Instead, I'm just seeing light chunks being mixed in. Now, the light chunks will die to the Hawks, so it's just a very, very short-term solution right now for DauT, and you see Slam is pushing him back quite relentlessly. And now in this situation, the fact that Mongols can't really wall themselves is actually going to be pretty problematic for DauT, because his army is inferior compared to Slam's one, and it's just going to be difficult to hold the land, plus hold the water as well against those Hawks. Let's see if DauT is going to try to use the light chunks against the knights of his opponent. Indeed, that's the plan. Here come the chunks. They will try to pick off the knights, and I would expect Slam to retreat. Indeed, that's exactly what he's doing. While the chunks are busy pushing back the knights, the Hawk is apparently just chilling here for Slam, so Slam doesn't want to be aggressive, he just wants to protect his fishing eco, which I think is a mistake here. I think that he needs to leverage the fact that his opponent has no answer to his combat ships in Feudal Age. Because if both players keep their fishing eco alive, that's great for DauT, because once he gets to Castle Age, he will be able to fight those Hawks, and you see why there is basically no answer to Hawks in Feudal Age. All the arrow ships, which is basically the only type of ship available to any other civilization, they barely do damage to the attack ships, and they actually take a lot of damage. Now, DauT has quite a lot of these junks over here. He's doing a pretty decent job microing them. Slam is actually pulling fishing ships to repair the Hawks, something that is a very underappreciated feature of Age of Empires 4. You can repair your ships with villagers, you can passively repair them with your docks as well, but if you want to sort of keep them in combat, you can also use fishing ships to repair them, and that's a very, very nice idea by Slam. I really like it. Meanwhile, he also has a couple of knights in the middle of the map just for map control. DauT is trying to sneak past him on the far right of the map. As here come the Hawks. Now, I think that Slam will just try to save his fishing ships here, because DauT will probably try to snap those down. And now it's actually a problem for Slam that he's pulling these, because he's starting to lose his fishing eco. This should not be the case for Slam. If he repairs them, so be it, but he shouldn't lose the fishing ships, because now his opponent will have better fishing economy than him, despite the fact that French should dominate water. Now, what DauT is building a strategy on is that light chunks are very, very cheap. You see, it's 120 wood, 90 gold. Plus, you could get some extra micro ability if you get the additional sales upgrade, because you would have a pretty decent speed as well. Looks like Slam has found DauT's army. DauT is just going to retreat for the time being. And as things stand, Slam isn't really able to leverage the power of the Hawks. Meanwhile, DauT, he's playing with 1000 for the time being, but he's got 6 fishing ships as opposed to only 3 of his opponent. That's a lot of junks. It's 10 junks for DauT. And he's getting additional sales. Now, considering that junks benefit from blacksmith upgrades, it would be essential for DauT to grab the attack upgrade on the blacksmith. But that's not something that he has right now. I would think that that's something that's gonna come in pretty soon. Slam is also not applying a lot of damage or pressure with the knights, which is also a little bit surprising because he's got the better land army and I think he's got the better navy as well, yet he's not really pushing DauT right now. So there are some small surprises over here so far from Slam. Slam's gonna mark it up as well, but that's just to balance the eco. He's not trading or anything like that with this neutral market. Look at that navy. That's 11 light junks. That's quite a lot. Against 3 Hawks, I think the Hawks will still win, but DauT might be able to take a rather favorable engagement here. You see, what Slam needs to do is try to focus down the individual junks, and honestly, the junks are exceeding expectations here. You're focusing down one of these Hawks, and it's slowly going down. Now, DauT's navy is also going down, so as I said, DauT might be able to take a reasonable fight here, but it's not gonna be good for either side. So the best thing DauT can hope for is sort of mutual annihilation right now, sort of drag this out until Castle Age, because once we get to Castle Age, DauT is going to be fine. You see, DauT can mix in his own war junks, and he's got explosive junks as well to fight the Hawks. So the feudal age is the problem here for DauT. Now, given the fact that he had more fishing ships than his opponent did, he actually has a pretty good economy going for him, and he's about to click up to Castle Age, so Slam's got a limited time to push him, and I don't see anything right now from DauT, or, excuse me, Slam, that would signal that he's actually going to attack DauT. Looks like he might be moving out right now. DauT is going up to Castle Age really fast. See, he's building the landmark with 12 villagers. That's gonna be a stepper DauT, which is basically a jur to which villagers drop off more gold. That's gonna be very, very helpful when it comes to boosting your gold economy. Slam is coming in here with the Hawks, however, and even if he can destroy the entire navy of DauT here, he should still take this fight, because I think he can do a lot of damage to DauT's navy. Slam is now figuring out the naval micro with the Hawks, which is basically the fact that you have to sort of flip the Hawk around because the 2 broadside ballistas fire independently, so while one is recharging, the other one can still fire. And now DauT is getting pushed back quite heavily here. Meanwhile, I think Slam needs extra ballista upgrade, but that's something in Castle Age. That's something I wanted to check here, because I wasn't sure if it's Castle Age or feudal age, but it's a Castle Age upgrade. Slam is pretty far away from Castle Age right now, I must say, so there is going to be some technology advantage here by DauT, and oh, that's a beautiful move from DauT. Even if he might lose his fleet, he's going to use his navy to take down quite a decent amount of units on land from his opponent, and this opens up the possibility for DauT to come in with the horsemen and just try to potentially burn down the dock or get some raids going. Still, I think that Slam is gonna have enough here with the knights to hold this one, so I don't think that this raid should do a whole lot. Meanwhile, it looks like all the junks will go down, but now DauT can start mixing in explosive junks or war junks over here. Indeed, here come the first war junks. Looks like the horsemen will also be short-lived here, being chased down by knights. This is not really a fight that DauT can take. He might be able to pick off 1 or 2 villagers or so, but that's probably the maximum that he can achieve with this. Now here's the deal, Slam's economy here isn't necessarily super efficient. You see idols everywhere for Slam. Currently he's got 10 idols out of the 49 eco he has, so that's far from ideal, and it looks like DauT did dive in and snipe the fishing eco of Slam. That was very smart. You see, DauT's got the mobility advantage. The light junks are very fast, especially if you get the additional sales upgrade, whereas for Slam his Hawks are slow moving, so while DauT wasn't able to take a direct fight, he still sniped Slam fish, and DauT still has 2 fishing ships alive, so at this point the fishing eco is actually better for DauT. Now, that still won't change the fact that now DauT's navy is gonna get absolutely annihilated. There's just nowhere to go for them. DauT is getting the war junks out. Now, considering that he's getting the war junks out and he's in Castle Age, I would say that the best thing he could do is get the extra ballista upgrade, which would help quite a bit for those junks. Also, Explosive junks would help quite a bit for DauT over here. And last but not least, if DauT has the capacity to do it, which I don't think that he has right now, but in the future, if we have long water fights, this might be a possibility. You see, piracy upgrade would give you food and gold for sinking ships here. That's actually a very, very nice upgrade for the Mongols. It's very, very good in extended naval battles. Looks like Slam is still winning this fight, but he's not winning it in a very, very decisive fashion, I would say. Here come the demos. That's gonna be taken down by Slam. Nice micro from him. It looks like DauT's junk here isn't shooting right now. So DauT is still getting pushed back over here, as he's got some horsemen out. He actually has gotten the veteran horseman upgrade even, so he definitely wants to apply a little bit more pressure on land. Looks like DauT pretty much lost his entire navy. There is some more demos coming in though, and Slam is getting dangerously close to those docks. He's very, very close to those docks, and there's a demo coming in on the right side. Oh boy, that's a mistake from Slam. He's gonna get a big demo in his face. In fact, DauT even misplayed that a tiny bit, because the demo didn't attack the ships. It just got picked off from distance. But it still damaged 2 nearby ships. Now, this is a much better demo for DauT, and this is exactly what he needed. Takes down 2 Hawks and pushes the rest of them back. Looks like one of the docks here from DauT will go down. This one before the war junk would pop out. Meanwhile, on the right side, it looks like we have Lancers coming in now for DauT. Slam is still in feudal age, by the way, as he's got quite a lot of gold in the bank, but not enough food to click up. Those feudal age Royal Knights are actually weaker than the Castle Age Lancers of DauT, so DauT should be able to take this fight if he wants to. He probably doesn't want to fight against the Spearman, though. Looks like DauT is getting another town center up here, close to the woodline. That's TC number 2 for him. And by the way, I think the OVU is half depleted. Indeed, it is. So DauT is going to have to move that OVU to that stone mine once this one is depleted. Right now, we have 3 Hawks for Slam, but 2 of them are pretty heavily damaged. They might be able to take this war junk down, though, and just finish off the dock. For now, it looks like DauT is only on 1 dock. Slam actually started adding fishing ships once again, so he's trying to leverage the fact that he has the water control, and now he's going for the stone walls. Ooh. Ooh. So he just wants to play a very, very slow and tanky game over here. And stone walls actually work really nicely against the Mongols here. Mongols want to build on their mobility. As you see, Slam once again has a little more Hawks out than DauT can handle, so DauT will be forced to retreat, but it looks like he would be chased down anyway, so he turns back and fights. He will lose the war junk in this combat. Looks like DauT is not adding any additional docks, so it's very possible we will see a bigger focus on land now from DauT. Currently we have 56 eco for DauT, Slam is at 66, so it looks like, despite the fact that Slam is 1 TC, he still has the better eco. I believe that's because he has added some fishing ships and DauT has lost all of his fish. Plus, probably there was some TC idle time difference as well. Anyways, Slam is going up to Castle Age using the Guild Hall. That's the economy-focused H3 landmark of the French. Will help in a very long game over here. And as things stand, it looks like DauT is still trying to get back on the water with the war junks, but he only has 1 dock worth of production. And Slam's got 1, 2, 3 docks right now. Walls are set. I think they are all finished. But one thing that DauT could do, and that would be pretty nasty, is if he makes a siege tower with a couple of archers, he could take this wall, and his opponent would have no chance to take it back. That would be a very, very cheesy way of doing this, but it would be a very nice idea from DauT. I wonder if he's thinking about that. There is a siege workshop coming in, so we will have either Springolds or Mangonels to knock down the walls, maybe even Trebs, but no siege towers for the time being. Looks like we'll have quite a lot of villagers being pulled here, but that's just for the hunt for DauT. Now keep in mind that the DauT has actually access to the trade post over here on the right side. So he can actually start making traders on the silver tree. Where is it at? Looks like DauT has repositioned the silver tree. I can't even find it. But it's possible that he can make traders and just start getting a nice gold income from that. It's not urgent because he's got a lot of mineable gold around here, but in the long run, that's something that's going to help quite a bit. Slam's got a pretty enormous navy here, and I don't think that DauT can stop this one. I count 1 explosive junk and 2 war junks against 9 hulks. As one would expect, the French will win water in the end. That's just the usual thing right now in Age of Empires 4. French usually win water, like I would say 95% of the cases they do. DauT is trying to get some towers out here, and you see he's getting arrow slits in, so he's trying to prevent his opponent from sort of getting ultimate water control and just keep his window open for returning to water. But the only thing that DauT could do in this situation, I believe, is get a couple of springalds out. Because springalds would outrange the hawks here, and they could actually snipe down the hawks quite easily. So 2 or 3 springolds for DauT would allow him to pick these ships off from the shoreline and potentially try to redock. Looks like there will be a couple more towers being built. So DauT is going to have 2 defensive towers here, plus the town center. This is a little too much for Slam to handle for the time being. DauT's got the workshop out, but I don't see any siege weapon coming in just yet. There's a siege workshop as well for Slam, so he's preparing for any kind of siege that could come out from DauT. He would probably react with springolds. So DauT would really need trebs, to be honest, because that's the only thing that Slam cannot snipe down from a distance. So, as things stand, we're looking into 68 economy from DauT, and from Slam, it is 82. So Slam's economy is actually much better than DauT's one here, despite the fact that, as I said, Slam is on 1 TC for the entire game. There's defensive keep coming in to protect this area with the stone and gold mines, and of course protect this dock as well. And now that Slam has water control, he can start adding a lot of fishing ships. Also get the drift nets upgrade as well for some extra fishing eco. Most of the fish on this map, by the way, comes from the shoreline fish. You see that there isn't really a lot of deep fish to work with, so over time the fishing eco will become a little bit more inefficient. Looks like DauT is still not adding any kind of siege engines here, which makes me wonder what exactly DauT is planning. He's getting the Kaganet Palace up though, so looks like he just wants to go into Imperial, and he might try to go for bombards here, trying to take down the walls, because bombards would actually blast through the walls pretty easily, and he could try to leverage his Imperial Age advantage and just go for elite lancers and charge in on Slam's Castle Age army. Now, Slam's got the better economy, so you see that Slam is not far away from Imperial Age. He is just like 500 foot short. So that's all that Slam needs to get up to Imperial himself. And the moment he sees DauT in Imperial, he's gonna work towards his own Imp here, because he knows exactly that he must not be beaten a lot to Imperial. The problem that DauT will be facing here is that once we get to Imp, the French cavalry is way better than the Mongols is. So cantled saddles, royal bloodlines, and biology will make the French Royal Knights absolute beasts. The Mongol cavalry is decent, but the French heavy cavalry in late game is just going to be much better. And you see, the moment Slam sees that his opponent is in Imperial, he's going to start rushing up the landmark as well. Is it the Red Palace? Where is the landmark even at? Can't see the landmark. That's a blacksmith. Here it is. College of Artillery. Okay, so no Red Palace. We will just have the Royal Artillery building for the French. I think that's actually a better general purpose landmark, and for this situation, which is like siege defense for Slam, that probably works better as well. Looks like DauT was trying to redock here. Maybe he was thinking about getting some Baoshuans out, which could work pretty decently against the Hawks. Alternative is that you get the explosives upgrade and go for demos, because explosives makes your demos a lot more efficient. So if DauT can get to like 6 or so demos and just rush up to the face of these ships, he can take them down quite easily. But these docks will be quite short-lived here, I must say. Looks like DauT's got a shaman out, so he's going for the relics as well, playing for the long game. He already has a couple of lancers out here on the front, which just turned into elite lancers. By the way, these are pretty heavily damaged, so this monk could actually heal them up before he takes the relic back. And it looks like this force here, which is a group of horsemen mostly, is actually coming from the Kaganet Palace. DauT also setting up trade, as you see over here on the far right. But that's the Kaganet Palace for you. So you see, it's just giving horsemen to DauT every once in a while. Something that helps quite a bit to mass the army for DauT. He's already getting some bombards out. Response to the bombards from the French player can either be their own cannons or potentially springolds. For now, it's a mangonel from Slam, which is a little unconventional, I must say. Looks like we do have a couple of outposts on the shoreline still for DauT, so at least Slam cannot completely deny DauT from redocking, although it's still very unlikely that DauT will be able to redock. The wall is open now, so any moment for DauT. Those are elite lancers. Slam's only got the veteran royal knights, so he's a little behind in terms of upgrades. He hasn't even started researching it. Okay, he actually did. It's just the UI not showing it. But it's 30 seconds until elite royal knight. The cantled saddles are in. So once elite comes in, I think Slam's knights are actually better than the lancers. Plus DauT loses a lot of horsemen, and the horsemen will just die to the knights here. So I feel like Slam's army will be superior here for the time being. Another batch of horsemen are coming in, and that's a pretty sizable force of cavalry now for DauT. But as I said, horsemen will die pretty badly to the fully upgraded French royal knights. Speaking of fully upgraded, biology will be much needed, and royal bloodlines will be needed. Biology is already finished by Slam, so it's only royal bloodlines now, which is the big deal. 35% extra health to those knights. You see they are 270 HP right now, as opposed to DauT's cavalry, which is still 270 HP, but soon these guys will have more. I think they cap out at something like 320 or so. There is also Royal Culverin out for Slam. Culverins being an anti-artillery unit, they can snipe down cannons quite easily. So you see that they have plus 200 damage against siege weapons. Also 12 tiles range, so they have an even range to springolds. Culverins will take the shot. One of the bombards do go down. And it looks like Slam is just trying to hold this choke point for the time being, getting some more knights out. He's probably waiting for his upgrades to finish before taking that fight, which is pretty close. He's getting elite army tactics as well, which is a little surprising, because that only increases the HP for melee infantry, and I don't see a lot of that, so that's a little weird. If he's planning on mixing in spearman, that's actually a reasonable thing to do, but I just don't see any of that right now. It looks like this choke point will be held here by Slam. By the way, neither of the players have tried to add any kind of artillery ships. For DauT, it's somewhat obvious because it doesn't have water control, but it didn't even try to get water control back. Like, try to rush up some docks over here, while Slam is occupied on the right side with his navy. Whereas for Slam, he's not really using that water control to anything other than fishing. A couple of Carracks here would actually be very, very helpful for Slam. They would smash this town center, for example. They would be able to take down these outposts, harass this gold mine, so there is a lot to love about those artillery ships. Very nice defense here by Slam, by the way. Now he's got 364 HP on those knights. Looks like that's the... what arrow was that? I missed out on it, but it was either the defense arrow or the attack speed arrow of the Mongols. And this choke point is something that Slam will still be able to hold, I believe. I like how the Culverins are just staying behind, trying to snipe the siege weapons of the opponent, although they're not focusing down the bombards right now. DauT's got a lot here, though. DauT's got a lot, and these cavalry units are also 324 HP now. Looks like DauT's flood is actually working out, because one thing that DauT has an advantage of is numbers. I think that his cavalry numbers are actually way better than Slam's cavalry numbers. Slam's cavalry is stronger, but the numbers are actually favoring DauT. You see, now we have even numbers, and DauT is starting to lose his forces. The cannon are coming in. They actually managed to snap one Culverin, but now they will be forced back. DauT is holding this choke point with a couple of Mangadai here, as a new batch of Lancers do come in. Slam actually leads the walls here, so he can jump the artillery units. I like that, because now he's being sort of withheld by that choke point, so his best idea is probably to delete the walls, indeed, and just jump on the cannon. If he was behind in army numbers here, he shouldn't delete the walls, but currently he has the advantage, so it makes sense for him to delete the walls, get a good surround, and he could potentially pick off the Khan, which is massive. No more buff pharaohs for DauT, and it's gonna take some time until DauT gets his Khan back. Now, Slam is starting to run out of gold. In fact, he already has 0 gold miners, so this was a now or never type of fight for Slam, because he needs to get gold here, and I feel like DauT could actually start feeling the blood in the water. Just saying, okay, my opponent has no gold income, I can just try to pressure the villagers, because if I start killing the vills and Slam cannot mine gold, eventually I can grind down his cavalry numbers to a point where he will just not have any heavy cavalry on the field. Now, Slam with the water control, he could actually go for trade ships and trade with the coastal trade port. That's actually pretty legitimate. I'm not saying it's better than mining gold, I don't think that we have any like official statistics on it yet, but it's a legitimate source of resources. I like this fight as well for Slam, to be honest. He can even use some of his hawks to take down the Mangudai and the Lancers, and you see, Slam seems to have enough juice here to fight this one. He also manages to finish a keep here. And it looks like we'll have some siege workshops coming in here as well. He obviously wants to take down the siege workshop here as well, but it looks like he will be able to push DauT back. DauT's got a lot of heavy cavalry coming in, but this is what I was talking about. One-on-one, the elite Royal Knights of the French will eat the heavy cavalry of the Mongols. So what can DauT do? I think he can still mix in his own heavy cavalry, but he needs some crossbowmen behind. Otherwise, I just feel like he will be overrun by much better cavalry units. DauT currently is at 150 population, Slam is at 180, 40 army for Slam. For DauT it's only 14, so much lower army numbers right now for DauT. He's trying his best, but it's just simply a matter of unit quality right now. French heavy cavalry is probably the best in the game late game. Mangudai could technically work if you can use your mobility, but I don't think that you can use your mobility on this map. It's just one brute force fight in the middle, you need firepower above all. Hand cannons might also work for DauT if he has some sort of meat shield in front of them, and I feel like Slam will try to just secure this gold mine for himself. I would like to highlight, now that he's burning down that stable, that he probably will try to build a castle here. And after that he can contest that sacred site, and he's got water control, so he could also take this sacred site and just trigger the sacred site victory condition countdown. Now it looks like the heavy cavalry will charge in, they will try to raid DauT's eco, which is quite exposed, I must say. But it also means that Slam no longer has the numbers advantage here in the middle. Was it a bad idea to send in all the knights? I don't think so. But it might still become a trouble for Slam if he isn't able to get good raiding damage done here. It looks like he will be able to get quite a lot of kills though. Currently his opponent is at 109 in terms of villagers, and looks like DauT will do his best to save his villagers, but quite a lot of those vills will die. DauT is adding hardened spearmen, those are feudal age units right now. It's gonna be difficult to take down this army with just spearmen. He will slowly grind them down though, and you see that while Slam is busy raiding DauT, DauT has quite significant force of lancers here on the battlefield. There's a chance that DauT is just gonna pull his forces back here now, and he's just gonna try to clean up the heavy cavalry here, because the heavy cavalry could find a trade of DauT, a really precious gold income for our blue player here, and that's exactly what they are going for. The trade being killed here is pretty massive, because if Slam is able to push DauT away from this gold mine, DauT would have little gold income. Simply because there is no mineable gold left on his side, and he can't trade with the coastal trade port because he has no water control. He tried to get back on water, but that was short-lived. Slam spotted that, and he's just gonna destroy the dock over here real quickly. Looks like DauT, in the end, commits to this cleanup, which I think is the right decision. He kind of needs that. But of course, while he's cleaning that up, Slam will have the chance to come forward and potentially drop a keep here, right next to the sacred site and the gold mine. In the end, in this fight, the Khan also gets taken down. DauT cleans this up, but as I said, it was a very costly fight. He lost a significant portion of his trade. He lost the Khan, so he will need to wait 2 minutes until he gets a new one. And what's the most important, I believe, is that Slam is able to secure this central position here. DauT's at 130 population right now with 35 army. Slam's at 152 with 38 armies, so Slam's army is looking much better right now, and indeed, here goes Slam. He's for now just neutralizing the sacred site, but eventually he could take over, and as I said, if he takes this other sacred site, that's not something that DauT will ever be able to contest. DauT is trying to go for Spearman, but he's still missing the elite upgrade on them. And one-on-one, of course, the Knights will beat the Spearman, so DauT needs a lot better numbers over here, but he's struggling for resources right now. That's the main problem that he's facing. Meanwhile, Slam actually secures that gold mine as he's depleting the other one over here. Big fight in the middle. DauT actually snaps the Culverin, which was a nice one from him, but I just don't think that DauT has enough here. I only count a couple of Lancers from our blue player, and there is a keep firing as well, even though it doesn't have a springald or a cannon or boiling oil. So no upgrades on that keep, but still, this is enough for Slam to clean this one up. DauT with just 17 army right now. He's mixing in men-at-arms. That's probably just the wrong hotkey, because mostly he is going for Spearman. Eventually, in a very long game, he's gonna be able to grind down Slam's cavalry numbers with the Spearman. And when Slam runs out of gold as well, things could get evened out, but that needs to be a very long game here for DauT. Otherwise, he will just be overrun by like millions of elite knights over here. This upgrade is, or excuse me, this one, elite spearman, that's much needed for DauT, who has the gold for it, just not the food. He's just missing food. He's got 34 on food, but when you're going full spearman, especially against such a powerful army, you need a lot of food income because you'll be losing those spearmen at a quite rapid pace. And you see, the moment the spearmen aren't fighting the knights will start to kill the trade cards of DauT. So it's not looking great for DauT. He's about to drop below 100 population here. The Khan actually popping the defense arrow, which increases the armor of nearby units. I think that's the better one over here, because while the attack speed would also help cleaning up the knights, I think, considering how low DauT's numbers are, it's better to sort of get that extra armor on your units and just try to keep them alive a little longer. Slam is coming in here with the monk to potentially take that sacred side, which would be one out of the two, as those knights are just absolutely rampaging DauT's economy here. DauT's at like steady 110 population. I just feel like Slam at this point will just grind him down, because by the time DauT is able to clean up this force, Slam is gonna have another batch of heavy cavalry moving in. In fact, we already have a group here that's just slaughtering all the trade. And now, Slam is the one that sort of has control over the right side. It's not a complete control because DauT has a couple of stables here, if I may say so. But Slam is the one that could actually trade in a legitimate way now. Although DauT managed to clean up all of those knights, Slam is still floating 6,000 gold. So this will only work for DauT if he's able to grind down Slam's cavalry numbers to a point that Slam runs out of gold. And that's going to be a long time, as I said. Looks like Slam's at 128 population, still 30 army. DauT is now below 100 pop. It's looking pretty grim for DauT, and he doesn't really have a reliable wood income either, so getting those spearmen out is quite difficult. At least he has the elite spearmen now. But I just feel like this game might be too far gone now. DauT is just being ground down by wave after wave of heavy cavalry, and I just don't see how DauT could potentially come back into this one. He needs a lot more wood than what he has right now. His food income is alright now. He's at 51 on food. But his wood income isn't really promising. And his gold income will soon disappear. And he will soon get raided by another batch of heavy cavalry. And you see, Slam is just securing more and more map control here. So he will be coming up with some forward buildings here as well. With a monastery up front over here for Slam, he's gonna try to take the sacred site. And after that, it's just a matter of time until he takes the other one on the water. Now, this is actually a pretty decent fight here for DauT, and soon Slam will need something against those spearmen, because, as I said, he can't afford to let DauT grind down his knight numbers. Now, that something could be archers, it could be hand cannoneers, maybe even crossbowmen, but probably the best solution is either hand cannon, with the amount of gold that Slam has, or if he wants to go for something that doesn't cost gold, then archer is the way to go. You see, DauT's got a lot of spearmen over here. Slam is coming in with a big conversion attempt. It's actually gonna convert to 1 man-at-arms, so we can say that it was quite inefficient. DauT's reaction was pretty nice over here. But Slam tried it. Monks are best when used against infantry, because infantry just struggle to get through the crowd and reach the monks to kill them. Especially spearmen don't even have a lot of base attacks, so they need quite a few pokes to take down a monk. By the way, Slam has chivalry, so every time he is not fighting, he's actually getting his knights healed. And it looks like DauT is coming in with the endless flood of spearmen. He has done this once against Kasva. I casted that game in my high-level Age of Empires 4 series. So, in case you missed out on that, that was ridiculous. DauT made something like a 100 spearmen with the Holy Roman Empire. That was crazy. Looks like he's about to break that record, though, at this pace, because he is just flooding spearmen. And now I feel like Slam needs something that kills spearmen. Because that's a scary amount of spears. The knight numbers here are brutal as well. It's actually 40 elite knights with chivalry and all the other upgrades. But that's a scary amount of spearmen. Remember, DauT's army doesn't cost gold for him, whereas Slam's army does cost gold. Slam still has 5,000 gold in the bank, so don't have to worry about that one. At least right now. But if this game ends up being very, very long and Slam is taking fights like this, it's gonna have an effect on him. Because you see that this is everything but efficient now for Slam. The swarm of Mongol spearmen are just coming over to Slam. Slam needs something here against this one. He's actually getting Ribalda-Quins in, which is a very, very nice artillery piece as well against massed infantry units. So that's gonna be pretty nice here for Slam. I still believe that hand cannoneers would be a much more convenient solution. It would also help against any other unit that DauT brings in. Oh, Slam tries to pop the monk. That's not gonna be a good conversion. In fact, as you see, DauT didn't lose a single spearman through conversions. That's a lot of knights that will go down. The Ribalda-Quin hasn't been fighting so far. And this is a disaster fight for Slam, if you ask me. Because you see that he's got the resource to replenish his army, but do you want to lose your knights like that? I'm not so sure. Now, how is DauT doing, though? DauT, I mean, he probably is just bringing in another wave of spearmen. That's gonna be DauT's strategy for the majority of this game. Just wave after wave of spearmen. Ribalda is setting up, but it's pretty fragile to spearmen if they can get close. This is why I said that I think something like archers or hand cannons work a little bit better over here, simply because it's a little more difficult for the spearmen to kill those when there's a meat shield in front. Also, these siege weapons are just not firing for Slam. I think he needs to like manually target them because they need to deploy, but it's a little weird that these are not helping out at all. Looks like we have some lancers coming in as well for DauT. And once again, those Ribalda-Quins will be very exposed to the spearmen or even the knights of the opponent. The monk actually gets picked off, and DauT is launching a counterattack. DauT is launching a counterattack, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man. Slam should not lose this game here, but you never know. Because he's going full knights against full spearmen. And at some point the inefficiency of these fights for Slam will start to show, because that's now a lot of spearmen that are coming over to his side, plus he's losing expensive siege weapons like Ribalda-Quin. You see, this unit here is 400 wood, 600 gold, and in a blink of an eye, Slam is down to 1300 gold, which is comparable what DauT has in his bank. Looking at the income per minute, by the way, that's pretty even. You see, pretty much all resource income is even. Slightly better gold income for DauT. That's because he's got some trade, whereas for Slam's got 0 gold miners, and I don't think that he has any kind of trade going for him. Slam is gonna run out of gold, and DauT might actually be able to do this. DauT needs to hold on just a little longer, because this is really the last hurrah for Slam. If he runs out of knights over here, replenishing them is gonna be extremely difficult. Now, does DauT have enough? Looks like it. His spearman numbers have dropped quite dramatically, but at this point, as I said, it's just one more fight. And this is why it would have been helpful for Slam to set up trade over time to this naval trade post, because that's unraidable gold income, and it's infinite as well. So if DauT cannot take water back, Slam is just gonna have infinite gold income from water, and Slam can just push this corner and cut off DauT from the trade. Speaking of which, Slam never really bothered to clean up these stables over here with any kind of units. And that's actually something that's backfiring now, because there's a Lancer that's slaughtering villagers here left and right. And more importantly, DauT still has access to this corner and he's trading with it pretty decently, I must say. It's not an awful lot of trade, but for a trade route that brings in 194 gold, I mean, DauT has to be satisfied with that. Revolt Queen is setting up to take some shots on the infantry. It's gonna have some nice shots, but when the dust settles, that army seems to be much larger for DauT. It's 50 army for him and only 30 for his opponent. Obviously, Slam's unit quality is much bigger, but replenishing that wave of knights is just gonna be next to impossible for Slam. He's slowly losing those knight numbers as we speak. DauT just seems to have an endless flood of spearmen. Look at that. It's just the endless flood of spearmen. He's like, okay, you have just finished your training as a spearman, my friend. You are ready to go to combat, and they're running out on the battlefield. Where are all the knights at from Slam, you may ask? Well, that's what happens when you keep fighting spearmen with knights. And you see, the knights aren't performing really badly. They are killing the spearmen. It's just a matter of cost efficiency now, which is heavily in the favor of DauT, to be honest. Also, this little hero Lancer did so much. It pretty much killed all the lumberjacks here. And now, we're looking at 133 population for DauT. Slam's at 126. Slam's at 27 armies, so it looks like he can still amass a couple of heavy cavalry units here. And if he's got the guild hole calibrated for gold gathering, that also helps a tiny bit. But from a game where I think Slam was massively ahead, I would dare to say that now it's an even game. Looking at the score, in fact, DauT seems to have the lead score-wise. I don't really know if that's actually a legitimate lead, though, because he's still the one with way less map control. But this might be a good time for him to try and get back to water, for example, and try to just even things out there, because it looks like Slam doesn't even have any kind of combat ships anymore. And if DauT gets back on water, he would actually get the coastal trade post. He could potentially take the other sacred site, as it looks like the University and the Siege Workshop here will burn down. Oh, that could be another Revolta Queen picked off by what are now veteran horsemen. No elite upgrade in for DauT. He probably can't afford it. It's pretty heavy on gold, as the horsemen do get picked off by the knights. That's once again a scary force of knights here, as we are seeing more and more siege weapons coming in. Looks like it's just gonna be knights and Revolta Queen for Slam here, which could work. But as I said many times before, that's a very scary horde of spearmen. So the problem for DauT now is that he needs to take that keep down over there. That's sort of keeping him from counterattacking Slam. The other keep that's holding this position is quite heavily damaged, so that's not that big of a deal. This one is the real challenge right now. Looks like the Lancers are now coming in to try and push DauT's trade. I like that quite a bit from Slam. This is something that needs to happen here, because otherwise DauT will just have a very convenient gold income. DauT, on the other hand, is launching the boys. DauT at 200 population, Slam's at 150, with a whopping 84 army for DauT. Remember, every building that the Mongols set on fire give 100 food and 100 gold for DauT. That's the other thing here. It's one thing that DauT doesn't have like a reliable gold income, it's only just a couple of trade cards, but every building it sets on fire matters so much, and that includes even stuff like this small mining camp over here. Big fight in the middle. The Revolta Queen will be able to get some nice shots in though, and that's gonna massacre all those spearmen. So this is not a good fight for DauT by any means. He's trying to charge in on the Revolta Queen with the Lancers, and they actually do go down. Slam still has a decent amount of heavy cavalry in here though. DauT is launching the next wave. A cannon is being set up to try and take that castle down. And remember, every building set on fire is 100 food and 100 gold for DauT. Makes it extremely difficult for Slam to finish him off. That cannon is actually dangerously exposed though, so DauT has like a legitimate chance of losing it. The Khan is coming in here to the middle. I think that's a bit of a mismicro here by DauT, because he could easily lose it to the knights or the castle, but it looks like the keep will go down, and DauT is doing this. DauT is just doing this full infantry, and you see Slam try to fight the infantry with the Ribodequin. But the problem with those is that it's rather easy to kill one or two expensive siege units like that with some cavalry. Whereas if Slam had like 20 archers or 25 hand cannoneers, for example, that would have been much harder for DauT to kill. You see, Slam has got the population space for that. He didn't have the gold in the end for the hand cannoneers, but that could have been a thing earlier in the game, or potentially archers even now. But now, this is DauT all over the place, just an endless flood of spearmen. And you see now Slam is trying to get some springolds in to try and snipe the siege weapons, but this is getting very, very difficult here for Slam, as he's just losing all his knights. There's a keep up here on the right side now, but that's gonna be short-lived as well, because the cannon just keeps shooting at it. And as things stand, we're looking at Slam dropping in population. He's trying to get some more cavalry out, but he's just being swarmed by spearmen. And now that DauT managed to set some buildings on fire, he's got a very, very nice gold bank. Look at this, 3.4k gold, that's pretty impressive. He's got 1.3k income per minute. Now he's got a good trade eco as well, because Slam wasn't pushing this. So with that gold eco, he can just start popping out lancers, and spearmen and lancers will beat the heavy cavalry of Slam over here. I think Slam is dead. And indeed, he caused the game. What a comeback from DauT. He was on the back foot for the majority of the game, but then it was just pure spearman play against the knights. And, well, obviously, he just lost insane numbers. It came down to the fact that the cost efficiency was better, and he had some trade going, whereas Slam didn't. So, at the end of the day, he was able to grind down Slam's heavy cavalry numbers with just an infinite flood of infantry and close out the game here.